Want to know why I do telemarketer pranks? Well, so did Greta Jackson. Greta happens to be a stand-up comic from Sydney. She is also a writer. She was writing a piece about telemarketing scams and the people that prank them, and such and such. I haven't read it yet. She has a Twitter. You should follow it. Here it is. Go to her Twitter. Now. Go. Follow. Tweet. Enjoy. Anyways, here is the conversation I had with Greta.
Oh, so would you be okay if I recorded this? Because I don't know shorthand.
No, that's fine. Actually, do you mind if I record this as well?
Go for it.
Great. And don't worry, I'm not half naked or anything.
It's totally fine.
There's a lot of people on my channel that would love to hear answers to a lot of these questions, I'm sure, as well. So.
Okay, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so you do live performances, like, were they recorded or real time or both?
Yeah, just in front of whoever was in the house at the time, and I'd put the phone on speakerphone and show them what I do, and then one day I thought, oh well, fuck it, I've got this video camera, I'll switch it on, and then I can show friends and family, and from there I put one online, and it was popular, and yeah, it's just grown from there.
The Batman one sort of went viral, didn't it? That one's the one that's... Yeah,
that was really exciting, actually. I've never really had that happen to any of my videos before. It was 60,000 hits in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah, it was going around this office, like I said, and we had to do something that involved prank calls, and everyone was like, oh, this guy, got to get this guy. It's the reverse prank in that it's not you calling them, they're calling you, and then you fuck with them kind of thing, which was just sort of, I think, unique anyway.
Yeah, I'm not seriously out to belittle people or anything like that.
Exactly, yeah. So, in that case, would you say you've taken something, like a mundane and, potentially irritating aspect of everyday life, I'm sure that a lot of people deal with, and turn it into entertainment?
Well, I hope so, yeah. There's a whole bunch of reasons why I do it now, why I continue to do it. It was, initially just for laughs, but now I sort of see myself as doing my part for the community at large. I'm trying to keep these people on the phone as long as I can, so they've got less time to bother the people that don't want to be called by them.
Yep.
And I also, one thing I think about a lot is that I hope it makes the corporate entities that use telemarketing to think twice about this invasive advertising that they're doing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I know it's not the telemarketers' fault. Like, I'm not trying to bring them down a notch or anything like that.
That's actually what I was going to ask you. I mean, what would you say to the suggestion that, you're making a kind of crap job even crapper, like some people may think? I mean, I don't think that, but... Yeah,
well, I get that asked. I get asked a lot. But, see, I can't... What can I do to these corporations specifically? I keep on thinking about how wars aren't fought by leaders, they're fought by troops, and I know that that simile is, pretty extreme, but it's my way of fighting this battle of invasive advertisement.
Yeah, yeah.
And I also get a lot why don't you put your number on the do not call list? And I don't see why I should have to be defensive on my own home territory, like in my own house. Why should I have to defend my phone number? My grandfather used to say the best form of defense was offense, so I'm taking the offensive.
That's a really interesting point. Yeah, why should you be put in a position where you have to take action against it? Like it shouldn't happen in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm just going to write that down. Why should I have to defend my number? Yeah. So why do you get so many calls? I mean, you're up to number 96, or whatever it is, number 97. There's a whole bunch of different ones you get. Do you know why you get so many? Is it just simply because you're not on the do not call list?
Well, I've always gotten a lot of calls. I think most people do. I think that's why they work so well and people enjoy them. It's because I'm doing what a lot of people wish they could do themselves.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? Because I've only got a mobile. I don't have a home phone, and I don't get them. So I'm interested to see, like, comparatively, if you just get a lot, but the fact of the matter is it's everyone. That's why everyone enjoys it, isn't it? Yeah.
I think so. I will admit, though, I put my phone number on every form I fill out.
Oh, okay.
If anyone wants my phone number, I give it up.
Yep.
And what I've discovered is that ever since putting my phone number on Facebook, the scam calls have gone through the roof.
Right.
Ever since about number 60 or so, it's more scams than anything nowadays.
Yeah. I was going to ask you the difference between them. What is that line? That makes the sort of the ones that are just sort of legal but irritating, but the ones that are phishing.
How do I decipher it?
Yeah, how do you decipher it? Yeah. And just as in like a how-to guide, potentially, if someone was,
The moment they start asking for license numbers and Medicare numbers,
yep.
That's when I get suspect. But I must admit, now I've been doing it for so long, I kind of see them all as scams, even the legitimate ones.
Right.
It's this offensive I was talking about.
Mm.
I'm of the mind, if I want something, if I want to purchase something, I'll go out and find it and get it. I don't need people shoving it down my throat.
Exactly.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Again, just furthermore on that point, like what makes them so entertaining? Like, is it just that universal appeal, or is it something more than that, or you're just sort of again, it comes back to that thing, you see yourself as fighting the battle, perhaps. Or,
I don't know, like without tooting my own horn.
Yeah, go on, fine.
I'm working with improv comedy. I'm sharpening my wit with every call that I do. And I'm developing characters as well, I've got Darren David.
Oh, Darren David's my favourite.
Well, he just got off the toilet. and there's Lord Kenneth Beaumont that just popped in from the 16th century. And so I'm just growing these characters, and each time there's a new catchphrase for them or a new joke, then their mythology grows all the time. And I think that's humorous as well. It's not just me playing with telemarketers. It's also, I like to think that these characters are actually quite funny as well.
The Sarah Argenton character, that's almost the most insidious, in that they think they're duping an old lady. Would you agree with that? Or
Yes. There's one really good example. The woman wants to come around and sell her books, and they're trying to get a courier to come around.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very sus, very suspect. And yes, I worry about this. And not to speak ill of the older age community, but a lot of elder people are now getting computers in their homes. This Microsoft virus scam that's going on. I believe a lot of people would fall for that at the drop of a hat. It's a brilliant scam. And so my offensive for that is to try and get their phone number out of them. And if I can get their phone number, then I switch it. Then I start phoning them, and I demand that they disconnect their phone line because the police won't do anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's sort of that's a problem as well. Like, I've had a bit of research in the approaches to deal with it, but it just kind of seems a bit open-ended, in that everyone kind of doesn't want to have any legal responsibility when it comes to these sort of things. It's just in the too hard basket. I mean, is that your feeling? Are you?
I have tried. I have collected details and got in touch with the police, and basically they've just said, look, there's no jurisdiction for it because a lot of them are coming from overseas, and so there's a website you can report it to, and maybe something will happen for it. But by the time anyone looks at it, these people have scammed how many people and moved on.
I was reading in that Mother Jones article, the original article that the Telegraph one was taken from.
Is it a brilliant?
Really good. It's really good. the favourite telemarketing they like to do, the couple of guys, the young guys are talking about it, are the illegal ones, are the phishing ones, because
that's where they get the most money.
That's where they get the most money, exactly, and they can sort of don't have to they can got more free reign, you know, like the ones where they rang up and phone sexed you back and that kind of thing. They can be jerks. It sort of doesn't really matter because it's illegal anyway.
Holy shit, wasn't that phone sex call insane?
It was gnarly.
That is one of the craziest things I've ever come across.
Yeah, I know.
I was in shock.
Yeah, but it didn't show. And yeah, just on that article, those stereotypes. I mean, what's your feeling of that? Of these people being sort of trained with these stereotypes in mind, and you know, I mean, does it make you angry or like?
No, I've got to be honest. I can probably see a bit of fact in that stereotype, like all stereotypes, and I know from the comments that appear on my videos that a lot of people do get aggressive at these people, and as for us, and you know, calling us drunks and that, we're a drinking country.
Yeah.
Like we're all larrikins, and that sort of fits into me pranking these people as well. It's sort of this Australian larrikin behaviour. But what is it? We're stupid, and all of our technology is from decades back. We all use Nokia phones. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more interested in that article. What fascinated me, and even sort of saddened me to a certain degree, is that how these people have to disconnect themselves from their own culture to be a part of this telemarketing culture. It's kind of gross, this westernization of their own culture.
So with the pseudonyms and things.
Yeah, yes, that as well. I think that's quite sad, really, to have to shape yourself to fit a job. It's kind of gross.
Yeah. I know, but I think there's it is sad, but then there's that whole thing of like, that's not really your name, and the repetition of like, yeah, Brad Joseph, yeah, right, you know. You want to say Brad Joseph as many times as you can in there because it's just so unbelievable.
Yeah, I can basically get away with calling them whatever I like, as long as their script can keep on flowing.
Yeah, exactly. Their script. That's. Do you think any of them ever get it? Are they ever like wise to what you're doing, and or any of that? Or they just it's completely culturally just doesn't cross over the humour or anything like that?
Occasionally, and obviously there's a lot of humour that comes out of that dialect confusion and that accent confusion. Sorry, what was the question again?
Oh no, I was just saying, like, do they ever
catch on?
Get wise to it, or is it just complete like a cultural misfire? Like it just never, like they'll never get what you're doing.
No, some of them do, and I think it's probably more so the ones that have been in that line of work for a longer time.
Yeah, right.
So they're sharp and switched on and ready, and they know that some people are going to mess with them. But most recently, just in the past week, the scammers are getting more aggressive. So
aggressive how?
As in they're picking up that I may be fooling with them, and they'll start to be a bit more aggressive in vocal tone towards me.
Oh, like in that most recent one that I just saw today?
Yes, and there's the next one as well. The woman just starts saying, no. But I get her to keep on the phone, so
yeah.
She gets really aggravated. And fair enough.
Yeah, right.
I imagine it must be frustrating to come across me.
Yeah. I know. And what would you say is your favourite one, your most treasured?
Nancy. How the fuck I got that woman to phone me 20 times is just... It's just mind-blowing. what an amazing woman. She must have been so desperate for that commission. I kind of feel bad about that. But really, like, there was so much absurdity in that series that surely even a dimwit would have caught on. And come on, by the end of it, I was telling her I'd been drink driving and had run over a small person that may have been a child and fled the scene, yet she still wanted the sale.
She still wanted... I know, it's remarkable. I mean that's just that they can have that tenacity. Yeah.
Prior to that, there was a few live pranks that were pretty good. Like I started, I think 008, I went to an actual conference and pranked them live. I got up and did a speech about telemarketing as the conference began.
Oh, okay, I have to check that one out.
Yeah, 008, and also part 3 of 031. I go to another company, and I start doing a comedy routine in their foyer, and they drag me out, and they're really angry, and they think I'm a what would you call it? Someone that's been sent by another company.
Oh, like a plant.
Yes, a plant. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. And so they were really curious about why I was there and who had put me up to it, and because I kept on saying the company sent me.
And right. Okay. And okay.
Yeah, they didn't like Darren David.
It's interesting how quickly it can turn aggressive. Yeah, more in that.
Especially the scammers.
Oh, yeah,
and they can get quite frightening. I'll admit it. Like, sometimes I get off the phone and I'm shaking going, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Especially when I'm turning it around and hassling the scammers, and they're saying they're going to send people around to the house and that. And I'm always going to be wearing a leotard when they get here, but it's still a little threatening.
I know, but it must be there's something about it. It must be a bit of a rush, to get. Maybe not so much now that you've done so many, but hopefully there's that element there of it's exciting. It's a bit of a rush. What can you get out of it this time? You never know what's going to happen.
Yes, absolutely. No, it's still to this day. It's still exciting for me. I think that a lot of that comes from being on my toes as well.
Yeah,
I'm in the red a lot of the time, and by which I mean is a lot of the time I don't have a plan. Usually the planned ones are funnier, but I do like just answering the phone and going, okay, what are you going to do this time, Grant?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so improv.
Yeah. So a lot of the ones where I'm just using my normal voice, you can see me thinking for the first minute or two. I'm looking around the room. I'm just sort of distant. I'm elsewhere. I'm just dancing around in my head trying to think of something absurd.
Was Batman planned?
Batman was planned. Absolutely.
Can't believe that. It's so good.
yeah, and that's the only time I did it. So it's not as if I did that to a heap of callers and just selected.
Got lucky with one.
Selected the one that worked. No, that was I post everything I do. That's why there's some duds in there as well. But I figure if I've got to go through it all, then so do the viewers.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's usually a little bit of gold somewhere hidden within each call.
Oh, absolutely. That's absolutely true. So, and do you know? I'll just finish up with this. Do you what's your plan for it from here? Like, do you have any plans? Are you just going to see what happens, or?
Well, I'm currently at work on the 100th prank.
Okay.
Which will be a series of calls in one video.
Right.
And then, yeah, I do want to shift its tone somehow. I'm still brainstorming it, but yeah, I do want it to move into something something a little more professional. Get a theme song and an intro and maybe start spending that time to write the jokes and have something planned for them all and stop sort of improvising so often.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's fantastic. I'm going to stop my recorder now.
Great.
But is there anything you want to say, like off the record or anything like that? Or?
I don't know. What would I say off the record?
I don't know.
I'm pretty honest, so there's not much I wouldn't say off the record that I wouldn't on.